In the dark recesses of medieval history, it's estimated that over 80% of all torture victims were subjected to brutal beatings, a stark reminder that the deliberate infliction of severe pain or suffering has been a pervasive and enduring aspect of human conflict. Torture, a term that conjures images of twisted devices and sadistic perpetrators, is in reality a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that has been used for a variety of purposes, including punishment, extracting confessions, and intimidating third parties. The most common form of physical torture, beatings, was often used in conjunction with other methods, such as sleep deprivation, sensory overload, and psychological manipulation, to break the spirits of even the most resilient individuals. As we delve into the twisted world of medieval torture, it becomes clear that the vast majority of victims were poor and marginalized people suspected of crimes, forced to endure unimaginable suffering at the hands of their tormentors. The accused were often subjected to brutal interrogations, designed to extract confessions, regardless of their guilt or innocence. This led to a culture of fear, where the mere suspicion of wrongdoing could result in a person being dragged before a tribunal, only to be subjected to an array of gruesome tortures. The use of judicial corporal punishment and capital punishment, while sometimes seen as forms of torture, remains a topic of international controversy, with many arguing that these practices, although brutal, serve a necessary purpose in maintaining social order. The methods of torture used during this period were as varied as they were brutal, with devices such as the rack, the iron maiden, and the thumbscrew being used to inflict unimaginable pain on unsuspecting victims. The rack, a particularly heinous device, was designed to stretch the victim's limbs to the breaking point, often resulting in permanent damage or even death. The iron maiden, a hollow, metal statue with spiked interior, was used to pierce the victim's body, causing immense pain and bleeding. The thumbscrew, a small, yet effective device, was used to crush the victim's fingers, often resulting in permanent disfigurement. Despite the gruesome nature of these devices, it's essential to note that many torturers did not act out of sadism, but rather out of fear, or due to limited resources. In many cases, the use of torture was seen as a necessary evil, a means to an end, rather than an end in itself. This does not, however, excuse the atrocities that were committed, nor does it diminish the suffering of those who were subjected to such brutality. As we explore the twisted world of medieval torture, it becomes clear that the use of non-scarring or psychological methods became increasingly prevalent, particularly in the 20th century. These methods, designed to maintain deniability, allowed torturers to inflict immense psychological trauma on their victims, without leaving any visible scars. The use of psychological torture, in particular, has been shown to be just as effective, if not more so, than physical torture, in extracting confessions and breaking the spirits of even the most resilient individuals. Techniques such as sleep deprivation, sensory overload, and isolation were used to create a sense of disorientation and confusion, making it difficult for the victim to distinguish reality from fantasy. This, in turn, made it easier for the torturer to extract the desired information, or to elicit a false confession. The use of these methods has been documented throughout history, from the Spanish Inquisition to modern-day interrogation techniques, and has been shown to be a highly effective means of controlling and manipulating individuals. As we continue to explore the dark truth about medieval torture, it becomes clear that the use of torture is not limited to the state, but can also be carried out by non-state actors. This includes individuals, groups, and organizations that may use torture for their own purposes, such as extortion, revenge, or intimidation. The use of torture by non-state actors is often more difficult to track and document, as it may occur in secret and without the knowledge or oversight of government authorities. However, it is essential to acknowledge the role that non-state actors have played in the history of torture, and to recognize the devastating impact that their actions have had on individuals and communities. The impact of torture on individuals and communities cannot be overstated. The physical and emotional trauma caused by torture can last a lifetime, and can have a profound impact on a person's mental and physical health. The use of torture can also have a corrosive effect on society as a whole, creating a culture of fear and mistrust, and undermining the rule of law. As we reflect on the dark history of medieval torture, it is essential to remember that the use of torture is not limited to the past, but continues to be a pressing issue in the present. The use of torture in modern times, whether by state or non-state actors, is a stark reminder that the struggle against torture is an ongoing one, and that we must remain vigilant in our efforts to prevent its use. In conclusion, the dark truth about medieval torture is a haunting reminder of the depths of human depravity and the importance of protecting human rights. The use of torture, whether physical or psychological, is a brutal and inhumane practice that has been used throughout history to inflict pain, extract confessions, and intimidate individuals. As we reflect on the twisted world of medieval torture, we are reminded that the struggle against torture is an ongoing one, and that we must continue to work towards a world where the use of torture is never justified, and where the dignity and humanity of all individuals are respected and protected. The ghosts of medieval torture continue to haunt us, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of upholding human rights, and it is up to us to ensure that such atrocities are never repeated, and that the suffering of those who were subjected to such brutality is never forgotten.